Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Gaifus for Laifus podcast. We are doing things a little different today due to some scheduling conflicts. We were not able to schedule a full podcast with the four of us, Chris, Raul, me, and Gunnar. So we are doing our own podcast, me and Gunnar, bringing it back to the first couple episodes that we did when we talked about the Crunchyroll Awards and stuff like that.
Yeah, keeping it OG up in here.
And we thought we would actually do a reaction to the nominations and the winners, or at least the winners of the Crunchyroll Awards, since those released about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Especially since we went over all the nominations, just us. So it'll be good to kind of just you and me kind of go over our choices and see where we messed up, where we got it right.
Reflect on our mistakes, yeah.
Exactly. That way for next year we get better. Because this show is not about how well you excel, it's about how much you improve.
I would say, I think, thinking about the Crunchyroll Awards, one of the biggest things, and we talked about this before we actually started the podcast, but one of the hardest parts about it is just, it's very top heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like this has been an issue that's come up year after year, right? We had that year, I think Yuri on Ice came out and it won everything. Yeah. And then the year after that, I think that's when My Hero Season 3 came out and that won everything. Mm-hmm. And like, I do feel like there's only about 2 to 3 or 4, maybe even 4 anime that like are constantly in the conversation. And like, basically if someone else wins it, it's like a gigantic upset.
Yeah. But my question is, because I know you've been following the Crunchyroll Awards a lot more than I do, the Crunchyroll Awards. The nominees, are they, I know, so like the winner is voted by the people, but are the nominees chosen by people, or are they chosen by a panel?
They are chosen by a panel.
Okay.
I think, they pick a bunch of content creators and people who are either involved in like cosplay or anime or even like game casters. So for those who play League and stuff like that, they talk and then they talk about who their winners are and stuff like that too. So that goes into it as well.
Okay. You see, and I think that's probably where the problem is. It's probably you need to, like you said, there's like almost like a bottleneck. It's like you get like there's all these good animes that come out, and you get only like 4 or 5 that are like the same. And so I think definitely it would be good to get some variety. If we could try to make it a little different, even if it's not like the greatest, because like we all know like Jujutsu Kaisen, and what else was on here? Like, okay, I know everybody loved Beastars, so like I get those are like top tier, but they don't need to like sweep every category,
Yeah.
Give some room, let some other animes kind of shine, and I think it'd be good. But I do agree, if there's one thing that we could fix, I think that'd be it. Just kind of making sure the nominations are a little more diverse. Be good, give people, and that's also good. Like if you're looking for, some good animes, a little diversity never hurts. That you're not watching just the same thing over and over.
Yeah, because then if you're like, all right, well, I watch My Hero. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it points out maybe like, for example, Tonikawa. If you read manga, that's a very popular manga right now, and then it became one, and then it became an anime. But like, and maybe that'll inspire you to watch the anime and then read the manga. But at the same time, like, it's only really weird categories, and that's what I hate. I think my point I'm trying to make is that for big categories, they never give love to like the little guys. Whereas like, so like you think about like that one year when what was it, Moonshine? No. When it beat out La La Land.
Oh yeah. I forget. I know what you're talking about though.
But like, right, like everyone was like, "This is a really good movie," but at the same time, everyone was like, "Nah, it's not gonna be,
La La Land.
It's not gonna be La La Land," and then it did. Or like Parasite, or like how Parasite from the Korean movie won Best Picture. Like we don't have big names like that, or like small names that do that.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. Maybe even like adding a category of best, like, I wouldn't say independent anime, but like
not
I
a
don't know.
big power title that.
Yeah. I don't know what you would label it. Like maybe just like just a recognition category.
I would
you
even
know?
do like, even if you want to get more no names out there, do like a good like top manga that's come out, because I think a lot of people don't realize that they start off as manga or as like webtoons
Mm-hmm.
or like light novels, and then it goes into anime, and like that leaves a lot of, and that'll get people excited for when the animes come out, right? Because they'll be like, oh hey, this sounds really cool. Like there's an anime that's coming out. I talked about it maybe in another podcast episode, but it's about Ragnarok. It's called something Ragnarok, and basically the premise is that the gods want to destroy the world, and the Valkyries talk to the gods. It's the gods of all religions. So Hindu gods, Japanese gods.
So they're all kind of chilling on Mount Olympus, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck Earth, dude.
Pretty much. And so the Valkyries go, no, I bet you humanity is worthy of existing. And so they agree to have a 7-on-7 fighting tournament. So the gods pick their 7 best, and then the humans they pick like 7 humans from throughout history.
Gotcha.
They meet in like the Colosseum and they fight to the death, basically.
I think I remember. This sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
So I think you've talked about this before. That sounds.
What was it?
Really good.
Yeah. So like for that, like there's the guy, his name's the Anime Man, and he's on the Trash Taste podcast, and he recommended that on his show on the Trash Taste podcast, and that made me go, oh, I'm gonna check it out. That sounds super cool. And then sure enough, they're making an anime for it, and I'm like, okay, so now I'm even more hyped because I read the manga. It's hype.
Yeah. So now you're ready for that. I get you. It's just like the same thing with like, when I was a kid, you would read a book. Like I remember reading the Percy Jackson series, and then like the movie came out, and I was
that was big. That was big hype, big sad at the same time.
I honestly though, like there's not a lot of movies that really can pull off the books real well. I feel like 9 out of 10 times you're gonna be disappointed. I mean, like, okay, like the Harry Potter series, it's good. It's all right. That's probably like just off the top of my head, Lord of the Rings, that was good. That's probably one of the better ones.
I mean, okay.
What you disagree or?
I know. I think Lord of the Rings is probably one of the better book to movie adaptations. Like
that's what I said.
I'm agreeing. I know, but I'm like, no, it's like top 3 for me, easy.
Okay, that's why I'm like, it's good.
You made it sound like it was like B tier, and I'm like, no, man, this is it. This is like, if you want to do these movies, and then they did the Hobbit, and that fucked everything.
You see, that brought it down.
Yeah,
you didn't consider that, did you?
No, if we're doing just a straight trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy is the best. I'll say it's the best movie book to movie adaptation.
The best book to movie.
Easy. Okay, then name me another one then.
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to. That was garbage. My waifu Jessica. That was our first date. We went to the movie theaters to watch Divergent.
That was an amazing one.
That honest dude, because I read all the book Divergent, Insurgents. I forget the other ones. There's like 3.
Yeah.
I read all 3 of them. Good. It's real good. It's the world's awesome. And I remember we were on a date, and I remember I don't remember what happened, but I remember we got like, I think I was too hyped, and like she was getting like a little mad at me. So I was a little upset. I was like, fuck. I fucked up my first date with her.
You don't understand what this means for me. So
I'm fucking up the date, and the movie sucks, and I'm like, this is like nothing like the books. It's just terrible. Like they're just ruining it. So it was a bad time for a minute there.
Sounds like
it got better though. It was just
okay.
But yeah. Speaking of Divert, I know, kind of a little off topic, but it all kind of connects. But I'm trying to think of another good adaptation of a book.
Exactly.
What about what's that? The Green not Tom Green, but that one that everybody was when in like high school. Everybody read the Stars, Fault of Our Stars. That was a good one. It was a good adaptation.
Okay. So here's my problem with that.
Okay.
It's not a bad book. It's not a bad book or a bad movie in either case. But I feel like comparing it, because that's the thing, right? A lot of so the tagline is young adult novels. They tend to be action stories.
Okay.
So I would say Lord of the Rings is the best adaptation of an English of a.
Okay, for an action fantasy thing. Okay, I get what you're saying. It's the romance love drama. It's easy to do. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think like they've had like 5. They've done so many of those. I mean, the young adult book to movie adaptations are just so. It's like how everyone feels about. That's why. Okay, this is my thing, and I'm sorry to segue, but a lot of people sit here and go, "Oh, the Marvel movies are oversaturating with the superhero movie market." But like, how many young adult novels do they make that are C tier level, like shit? Okay, so you have Fault in Our Stars, cool. I mean, Lord of the Rings isn't even a young adult novel, but you have Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah. Are you about to say it?
What?
I thought you were about to say it. You sent me that. You remember that TikTok you sent me today?
Oh, about that Harry Potter's not good?
Yeah. I was like, are you about to drop the hammer right now?
I'll say that for when we're all together, so we can get people mad. But yeah, okay, you heard it here first on the podcast, man. I was watching TikTok and the guy was like, I think what had me is because, so for those who don't have a roommate who hates Star Wars but loves Harry Potter, and I was watching the TikTok and the guy was like, no, he's like, Luke Skywalker is infinitely better than Harry Potter, and I was like, this is gonna cause some problems in the household because I honestly kind of agree.
Luke Skywalker is better than Harry Potter.
We got sidetracked.
Yeah, this is a little off topic. We'll get back on it. Here's the thing. If we're talking about if we're looking at the original 6 movies, I'm not talking about like the new ones.
Here we go. I got my agreement. I got my argument. So what do you follow? Do you think Luke Skywalker is a better character?
I think Luke Skywalker is the best character in Harry Potter. Okay. Because if we're just looking at the movies, because I haven't read back like into I know there's the books and there's like the comics and
we'll go straight movies.
Straight movie to movie. Luke Skywalker does infinitely more than Harry Potter does. Harry Potter coasts it. He's the rich kid. Do you know who my father is? And that's what coasts him through life.
Except there's a couple because he had the eyes.
Yeah, because he had exactly. Like, there's some moments in Harry Potter where like he pulls some shit and like he does some last minute stuff and he's able to bring it out. But like, if you look at it really, like he had a lot of stuff going for him that he was able, and I mean, like you could probably make the same comparison. Luke had a lot of stuff going for him too, in that kind of sense. But I feel Harry Potter, like when you just, I don't know, obviously I think in the books they made him out to be a better hero, and he obviously did more, and his character growth was a lot better. But movie to movie, Harry Potter is just like he's just a kid in school who got it like. Every year he gets into some wacky shenanigans, and by the end of it he has to be like he's apparently the head of of this rebel army to go fight like the Dark Lord. But I don't think Harry Potter's a good wizard.
In theory they should have been fucking destroyed.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because like you watch the training montage. Like it's not good. Harry, I don't think is that great of a wizard, really, either. No. And like he's got a couple like from his mother, like the scar, and like how that like and to be honest, like I'm very much rusty on my Harry Potter for anybody listening out there. So don't come at me.
I remember all that stuff, so don't worry.
Okay, thank you. So don't y'all come at me too hard. But for me, from what I remember, and from what I remember reading and watching, not even reading, but just from watching the films, a lot of he's like, he only knows like 3 spells.
Yeah.
In a world where you can learn it's limitless. You can make your own spells, dude.
He plays a D&D character that knows like firebolt, magic missile, and
he knows
mage hand.
Yeah, and that's it. And nothing right. It's like he put 1 level into the wizard class, and then the rest of his levels went into fighter. It's like, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be like the greatest wizard ever. You know 1 good spell.
Yeah, he uses the disarming spell, and then they make it like, oh, like their wands are bonded, so they can't kill each other.
Yeah, it's like it's
that
so
feels kind of gimmicky, because like it feels like a plot armor, right? Everyone likes to sit here and complain about this and that, like, oh, so much plot armor. But Harry was really built around a lot of plot armor.
Yeah, because he should have died in like the first movie, right?
Yeah, but so like that was a weird. The good thing about that is it set up the 4th and 5th movie, which I think are the 2. People say Azkaban is really good. I agree, Azkaban is really good. I think what also sucks is that Luke is only he is in like 4 movies, right? You have New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then he's in The Last Jedi.
But here's the thing: I think he does so much more in those movies. Okay, like Last Jedi. Okay, he kind of like, when you find out what happens after the original, it's like, damn. Okay, he kind of fucked up. Like, Luke, where you been at?
Yeah, Luke was ready to murder his nephew, and he's like, oh.
And it is like, have you not heard of maybe like, let's talk this out first, right? We did not learn anything from Anakin. We just start murdering children as soon as possible, right? There is no like, let's sit down, let's talk this. Yeah. I'm feeling some dark aura coming from you today. Let's talk this out as a family. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm about to come beat your ass with a lightsaber.
I also think this might be the most controversial part, is that I think so when the guy made that comment about it, I was like, oh, look, I started to think about it, and it's the trio, right? It's the classic trio: guy, girl. Usually it's guy, girl, I think. If it's not, then correct me.
Well, yeah, I think that, I mean, like Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura.
It's the classic young adult novel trope, which is guy, girl, creates a love triangle. But in this case, they didn't, which I do appreciate J.K. Rowling for doing. The only thing is that no one gave a fuck about Jenny in the movies. She would get like, she would come in, do the bad eyes, and then he's like, yeah. And then in the 6th movie, like, not to sound fucked up, but they do the 7th movie, right? And then it shows them like sending their kids to school, and they made her look jacked as fuck. They did her a disservice. She looked tired as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, so actually, let's save this. Let's we'll
put a pin on it, because we keep going on it. Yeah. This is not about, but it should be. This is a good topic. We'll come back. We'll bring it to when Raul and Chris come back. We'll come back, because I do have some stuff to say about. I do think in the books there might not be a love triangle, but definitely in the movies, they definitely threw out heavy love triangle vibes.
And I feel like that was done by the writer. I will say I think Hermione and Harry should have been together.
I had 10,000% agree.
Okay.
I'm sorry that Ron has to get cucked in this situation, but like, it's just a better combo. Cause like, I don't know, like from the films, like in the books, it makes more sense. There's more connection kind of drawn out, but I feel like it's just like in the films it's a cop out. But let's pin it. We'll pin it. Okay. We'll pin it.
Last take. Obi-Wan is a better mentor than Dumbledore ever was.
I agree with that because Dumbledore says like 3 things and he dies.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll see how
we're gonna get so much hate.
We are gonna get so much hate. So remember hashtag Harry Potter sucks, all that stuff, and oh man, TikTok's gonna be lit. All right. So for those of you who sat through our drivel, I appreciate that, and I'm probably gonna lose a roommate out of this.
Yeah. We'll put a timestamp in the description.
If you just want to hear the Crunchyroll stuff.
Yeah, so that way we can skip past all this. So, but thank you.
I think I lost him.
There, I'm back.
Okay.
I got censored. No, but if you did hear all that, thank you. We'll talk about it more later. I would love to hear what Raul and Chris will have to say about this. Yeah. But let's go back. Okay, so what we're here for? We're here to discuss. We made some predictions, and we're here to come ante up, collect on those bets. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? What should we have gotten right, and what should have been wrong? We're gonna go through it all. So I went through. I listened back. Daniel was a smart man. He wrote down his answers. Whereas I just kind of felt it in the moment of my heart. So I had to go back. I went back, I listened to the episodes, wrote down all my answers. So we're going to go through each of the categories, show what won, say what we picked, and see if we agree or disagree with it.
All right, so we're going to go based off of the order of the website that they have it on. So they did it in a certain particular order.
That sounds good.
So the order we went in on the first and second podcast is going to be different than the order we're talking about them now.
Yeah.
So don't trip out and be like, ooh.
Yeah, it'll be a little jumbled up, but we have our choices. So
yeah,
you don't have to go back and you could too, but if you do want to go back, all of the categories are timestamped, so you can always go back and select a certain timestamp if you want to hear. Yeah. That's what our specific topic. But let's get right into it. So what's the first one, Daniel?
So the first one was best character design. God, I gotta find mine. The winner was Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which honestly, I watched a little bit of it and I really did like the character design. I think the art's really unique.
It is definitely one that makes you pop. It was my choice for the winner. Yes.
So you called it. I
called it. Back of the class. Yeah. Exactly. 3-pointer all day or day. I was listening back, I was leaning towards Great Pretender. Just because I think it's still like, I still love the art style of Great Pretender. It's real nice, but the Toilet Bound, it just really pops. It's got, and I really love, it reminds me of My Hero a little bit, like the art style. It's got like that really nice, it's very vibrant and bright. Yeah. And I like it. And
the manga art's really nice too. They do a really good job of adapting it.
Oh, okay.
So you called it. Good job. You get 1 point. I predicted Brand New Animal, which I think I'm a Studio Trigger hoe. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, like I remember listening back to it, and I hey, listen, we all gotta be a hoe for something, and that's just a fact.
It's fair.
BNA is good. It's a really nice one, and I didn't watch too much of it, but the little bit I did watch of it, like, it's a very beautiful anime. Like, they did a very good job, the animation studio. I think it just kind of really depends on your style, right? If you kind of want a classic, and I think that's what we said in or at least what I said when we went over this originally, best character design. Yeah. If you're looking for a classic anime design, Toilet Bound's going to be it. That's like mainstream, what is in right now, that really pop, colorful look. And like pop, colorful, everyone's kind of short too. Kind of like in like My Hero, if you kind of notice, like the kids are kind of shorter than usual. Because usually in animes, they make the high school kids look like they're in college. They're like tall, yeah. So in Toilet Bound, it's like it looks good. Yeah. They do well, and it's just kind of what's in right now. So it makes sense. I think it was a good choice. I think all of them they're all great, great runner-ups. But I think Toilet Bound, if you're just looking at what's in right now, that's what's in.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought all of them, honestly, looking back on it, had good character designs. Yashahime, I actually am almost caught up with the whole season.
Is it good?
If it's a nostalgia throw. If you like Inuyasha and you like the character design for Inuyasha, it's in that vein. So you're like, okay, cool. Like it's a nostalgia move for sure.
That's what we said in our first one. Listening back to it, we were like, it was good, but it's only good because of Inuyasha. On its own, it's kind of just like,
Yeah, it's a monster of the week. It's literally they just took Inuyasha formula and put it in the 2021. I like it though.
Yeah, it looks good. Me and my wife Jessica, we're going through Inuyasha again because honestly, I don't remember how that shit ends. So I need we're rewatching it. I want to see. We want to finish it. Then that way we can start. Hopefully, by the time we start the sequel, Yashimi. Did I say that right?
Yashahime.
Yashahime. So once we start Yashahime, hopefully at least about half the season comes out by then. So we have a little bit we can binge. Because I'm a little disappointed right now for all you out there who are Dr. Stone fans. Uh-oh. This season's fire. But because of COVID, all of the scheduling, it's not a week. It's not a weekly. It's to be determined. Yeah, so they released the first.
It's like every 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. So they released the first two. I don't know when the third's going to be released. So I'm a little disappointed about that. But hey, guys, anime is like the ocean. There's always something,
There's something that's gonna pop up. I feel it.
Yeah, it's almost limitless. So you got a lot to get through. All right. So it's looking like the next category, best animation.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Best animation was Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, which honestly I watched. I remember thinking about it and I was like, okay, it's gonna win. Like I was like, okay, this is one of those weird ones that's gonna like win. I think this is an example of like a one I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm. Going back to our original talk, we said it definitely is a beautiful animation style, but I think we said we thought it was a little too trippy. I think we said.
Yeah, I know I had Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I also had Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh wait,
it's not on here. It's not on the animation list.
Dude, because I listened to the episode. We definitely talked about how Jujutsu Kaisen's on the animation list.
Yeah, there's 5. There's supposed to be 5. Oh wait, what are we doing? Oh Jesus. Okay. I had Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, Got a High School, Great Pretender. Did I add Jujutsu Kaisen twice on accident? I might have. Oh well. For best runner up.
Listen, everybody, we like anime. We're not good at math. Okay?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the animation one. I think I probably would.
Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken's a great anime. Yeah. And then I think like I said before, who's the creator again? What's his name?
Of Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken.
Mm-hmm. He also
we talked about this.
We talked about he's the creator is amazing.
Oh, Masaki Yuasa. He does what else does he do? He does the trippy art. So he did like Devilman Crybaby.
That's the one we talked about a lot because I love Devilman Crybaby. Yeah. The story's whack.
He also won Best Director, so we can keep that, make it kind of streamlined.
Yeah. Which he deserves Best Director because like the work is definitely you're on a trip. If you're like, because the biggest thing when you're creating like an anime is you want a cognitive story that makes sense, right? You can jump around, you go from A to B and you don't lose any points. Because I feel like that's the biggest flaw of like for example, Tokyo Ghoul. You can't watch the anime of Tokyo Ghoul without reading the manga because if you watch the anime, it's not going to make sense. They've lost you from A to B. And I feel like with like a lot of what he does, like with Devilman Crybaby or Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, it gets you to A to B But then there's also C that's up in the sky. It's in the third dimension, and it still follows A to B, but it's in there. So there's like extra levels, which I love. I think it's good, and I think art style's amazing. So best animation, keep your hands off Izuka. I have no quarrels with. Yeah. The only one that I would say that
and best director.
And best director. Yeah, he deserves it. If I still have my quarrels with Beastars. So
yeah, man, you might need to go talk to somebody about that. That's that feels like.
With that next stimmy, maybe I'll go see a therapist. I just don't understand, why do they have to be animals?
I don't understand why they have to have sex. Why was this?
We already have Zootopia. It doesn't make any sense. Ridiculous.
It really is. It's literally Zootopia. They cheated. Someone has to copyright that shit.
I want to kind of see when was because okay, obviously the Zootopia, when it came out, wasn't when the idea was created, but that was when the mainstream. When were they at the same time? I wonder if
I'm actually checking that right now. So Zootopia was 2016. Mm-hmm. The first chapter of 2016.
Oh, that's crazy. That's funny. So what month? Does it tell you month?
September 8th was when the first chapter of Beastars released.
And then when did Zootopia release?
I didn't check, but just a really quick thing too before people started saying that we're accusing people of stuff like that. It is very difficult for manga creators to get their stuff published as a series. It's not like I feel like with writing and comic books, you can have a good idea and pitch it, but the demand for manga artists is a lot higher.
Okay. And here's the other thing with that. I definitely agree. There's a lot of that's pressure that's put on them. Not only because a lot of times these manga writers are doing everything. They're a one-man band. So that not only adds up, but then there's a lot that's put on them because they're having to be producing on a weekly basis, a large volume of work for something that might not even take off. It's a lot of risk, a lot of work for, and a lot of times little reward.
Yeah.
So
it's anime American Idol. Basically.
And my personal opinion on art is, everyone can have their interpretations. You know what I mean? I feel in the sense world of art, it's the same thing with YouTube and stuff like that. We take things, we take it and we change it a little, and we take our own interpretive on it. I still think, you should give recognition to what inspired you, but your own work is your own work, right? You use that inspiration, and you might have used it as a foundation, but that is
spoken like a D&D player.
Exactly. The D&D is all about copy stealing, but that's a whole other thing. I don't but honestly, if I'm really breaking it down, I don't think because we've from our whole life, if you really I guess maybe this is a big way to think about it. We've all been influenced by a plethora of things. I think we all kind of have, and maybe this is my stoner brain working, but we all have this.
You're on a soapbox right now.
Yeah, we all have. Every single person has the same kind of ideas, right? Because depending on where you're from, we've all been kind of absorbed with the same media, so we kind of have the same thing, but just a small, different interpretations, right? So when you're looking at something going from Zootopia to Beastars, it's the same concept, the same universe. In a sense, the same idea, but with different twists. Obviously, one takes a darker, one's a lot lighter. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of similarities too. But when you look at the similarities, these are stories that have been. These are concepts that have been told previously before. We can break it down. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't think it's I think it's good that you mentioned that. I don't think that Beastars stole from Zootopia. We just like to point it out because, I think anytime you're like that, you gotta realize, right? like we'll break My Hero. We can say is Japanese Marvel, right?
Yeah.
If Japan
it's for sure. For sure. I found some of the manga actually because I like to build my sets from the beginning. I don't like buying what's available. I'm like, no, I have to start from one and I have to build. It's like this weird neurotic thing I have. And yeah, if you look at the books, I have them in my bookshelf. The spines look like comic books. When you read them or when you look at it, it has like ads.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So like, yeah, my girlfriend thought that. So I think the first one has an ad for Mount Lady on the back.
Oh yeah.
So she like knew what My Hero was, but didn't know how like quote unquote fan service he was gonna be.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "What's the deal with the lady on the back?" And I was like, "What?" And then I was like looking at the book. I'm like, "Oh, it's designed like a comic book." And so like the ads are for the superheroes in that world, which is really cool. But
yeah, that's a cool concept.
So it's like Mount Lady like shower gel or like like shampoo basically.
Nice, I love that.
Yeah, so she was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "No, promise, I'm not like buying waifu pillar or something."
Yeah, but like you said, like it's obviously it's a take on like people borrow from everything, and I think that's good because as long as you're not flat. Because my issue is when you it's a flat out steal, right? When you're just it's a copy and paste. But if you take it and again, I think it's our D&D mind. If you take it and you twist it and you're changing things to make it your own thing, I think it's fair game. And it should be the biggest thing is you got to give. Oh, sorry. Did we break up?
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. You just got to give recognition. I think what inspired you, and I think that's. But obviously, people, when money gets involved, it's a whole different thing, whole different ballpark. So we won't get into that. But let's move on.
Jesus, Gunner. All right, now that your soapbox has been removed, all right, we are now on to best fight. We both came in the same conclusion, which is that My Hero Academia had the best fight.
That was an easy one.
That was an easy one for us, just because of what it represented and how the span of the season. Mm-hmm. And then to tie in with the My Hero thing, My Hero actually won Best English Voice Performance. Yeah,
Hawks, which I was actually really surprised.
That was a surprising pick for me too. I don't think I had him winning it.
We talked about it. I remember listening back to it. I was saying, I think his voice acting was good. He was only in one episode. Like, I just didn't think it was enough time for him to be like, oh, that's the best, Yeah. Like, I didn't think he had enough time to shine. I think it's good. My choice was Aaron Phillips from the Great Pretender or Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, mine was Johnny Young Bosch just because I'm lame.
Yeah.
But
I figured Hawks was going to win because it's My Hero. And My Hero's kind of got that. It's a hot topic brand now. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing like with Naruto. You just mention it, it's from there, and you got that name recognition. Yeah. You're done. So, it makes sense. I mean, like, not to knock the voice actor. I think he does good.
Honestly.
But I just...
Go ahead. No, continue.
Okay. No, all I was saying was, like, I think he does good. I just wish we would have heard more from him. Like I said, only one episode. Yeah. And I feel like with all the other ones, we've heard a lot more. And, like, we've been able to see more of a range from them.
Yeah. Tying into the shout out to Zeno Robinson and Anaris Quinones are both people of color. So I just want to do a shout out to people of color getting the recognition they deserve for also being voice actors, as we traditionally kind of assume that it's not trying to make it about race, but I'm doing my shout out to the people who out there representing for us.
No, it's good to represent. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And they should. It's good to always give them a shout out.
Yeah. Looking back on it, it's kind of none of the characters really stood out to me. I feel like they should have picked more iconic characters. Maybe I don't know what the category, what the criteria to be a voice actor performance is, but I definitely think in terms of maybe because a lot of these characters they voiced. Okay, Legoshi is the main character from Beastars. Bam is the main guy. Laurent Thierry.
So it was more like iconic characters rather than like kind of had more to do with it in the voice, you think, or
well, like it's like this. Like imagine like it's like or like with All Might or Deku or Yami, right, who are ironically played by the guy who plays All Might. But like those voices are their voices. If someone tried to do a voiceover of it, it would be
trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
try to do like doing All Might. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like yeah, of course, there's probably someone out there can pull it, but it's very difficult to pull out. The very distinct voice. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I think when I think Void best English performance, you go, that's that character. That's who he is. And maybe that's what they're playing into with this, and maybe that's what it is for Zeno. Maybe we should go back and rewatch the episode and come back and talk about that again with a different take. Because it has been a bit since we saw season 4. At least for me, season 4.
I mean, I just rewatched it not too long ago. Mm-hmm. His voice does fit the character. Like when you look at the character, you see like, okay, that's the voice I expect to come out.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I understand why he won. Like I said, I wish I would have just heard more from him. Like, because honestly, I still kind of think that who was my pick again?
Johnny Youngbox.
Aaron Phillips. I think Aaron Phillips from Great Pretender. I think he, if we're looking at that category, I think he fits it better.
Okay.
So, but that's just my thought. You know, it'd be cool. I would love to see if they had the breakdown, like how close was like everybody. Yeah, and like what just like bombed. That would be cool to see.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think that would be a good take.
Crunchyroll, if you're listening.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, if anybody's listening, honestly, but we have some technical difficulties right now, but we will transition into the next category, which was best couple.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. When you're as popular as me.
Yeah.
Times are tough.
So we have best couple is next, and so the winner was Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You, which honestly I 100% agree with. I picked. No, did I? No, I did. I think I did pick Tonikawa, Over the Moon.
You did.
I did.
Because I remember I was like, "Oh, you're Rent-A-Girlfriend all the way."
Yeah,
and yeah, you were like, "No, I remember," because we had this whole argument. You were like, "They're not a real couple."
Yeah, oh man, I had some good takes.
Yeah, you had some. Listening back, I was like, "You knew your shit, dude." It was good. Those are great episodes. Yeah, no, you're totally. I mean, obviously, they make a great couple. Their story's great. I think it's good. I am still upset though. I think
Kaguya-sama should have won.
Kaguya-sama,
they're not a couple either. They're not a couple either.
They're a couple.
They're not a couple either.
They're not a couple either.
If we're following that exact same criteria, they're not a couple either, and that's where I end my.
What is this fucking math? This is an equation. It's not A plus B equals C, okay, Daniel? This is what the heart wants, and this is exactly what I said in the last one. The heart wants what the heart wants. Love is War season 3.
This is gonna sound. This is gonna be spoilers for a couple of them. Beastars, they technically don't get together. It's not gonna be in the anime until I think second season, maybe third season if they do a third season of Legoshi and Haru from Beastars. For the Inspector one, I think they don't become a couple till like the second to last episode. I don't know about My Life as a Villainess, and then she's the Misuhara and Kazuya one from Rent-A-Girlfriend. I am on chapter 168 of the manga, and still nothing. I'm about to throw my phone out the window, but that's neither here nor there. So that's my soapbox.
Okay, well, thank you for the technicality, Daniel. But you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants.
Okay.
Kaguya and Sama, all the way. Fucking love them.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on this one.
But I think they made a good choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say that.
You'll admit your fault.
I'll admit there's no fault though.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay. We for the next one we have best performance by a voice actor for Japanese.
Ooh.
And it was who we all can imagine. It was Yusuke Kobayashi, who plays Natsuki Subaru from Re:Zero season 2. We both called this. I mean, when you literally every episode ends with you being killed in a horribly horrific and tragic way, and you have to carry that every episode. I mean, yeah, you're the best performer. It's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. My only runner up was Masumi Tamura from Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken. I think that was a really good one. But yeah, we both, when you gotta die that much, because that's the other thing. I think that's what we said in the first podcast. I don't scream yells, just like yells.
Yeah.
Japanese voice actors
crush it.
They're amazing.
They murder the shit out of the Attack on Titan scene. Have you seen season 2 of Attack on Titan?
And only in dubbed. In the dub, it's
the scene when they eat the guy from the beginning, Hans.
Yeah.
So that scene in English doesn't even sniff the Japanese version.
Yeah. For everyone, I know we got to talk about season 4. I am currently going through and I'm trying to watch it all dubbed or subbed.
Please watch
because
it.
I went through all 3 seasons dubbed. So now it's taking me a little bit. I got to go back through and watch them. But I think overall it's going to be more important that I do that. So that way we can talk about season 4. Culture. I'm hoping to, if I push it, maybe next week we can talk about it. We'll see.
Okay.
But that's off topic. But Japanese screams, I don't know. That's like NBA to Little League.
Yeah, they do a good scream. They do a good scream.
Yeah, because even like the better yells and because the ones that I don't know, like the American voice actors, a lot of them I just think need work. Because even like All Might when he's fighting All For One, his yell's kind of trash. Like I know that's kind of a bad take. Like that fight was amazing, but his yell could have used some work, dude. Like
interesting.
Because I just remember watching it, and I just remember him screaming and yelling. I was like, this kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Really? Because this is Vegeta, dude. This is the dude who made the second guy who made the scream, the Dragon Ball Z scream famous.
No, I'm not saying it's the worst, because there are definitely some bad murder yelling in American voice acting, but I just remember thinking I was really expecting like some blood curdle, because I'm just kind of, and honestly I'm probably a little bit of I'm kind of spoiled with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, no, because JoJo's is a unique experience.
It's the yelling, and that's what I have to compare it to. So I'm not saying like before y'all come at me. Like, I'm not saying that All Might's yelling's bad, but all I'm saying is when you compare it to like the stuff in like season 3 of JoJo's.
Oh, we're doing
yeah. Like when you hear that start, when you hear Ori Ori Ori, like come on now.
Stupid. Also, Re:Zero won Best Fantasy, which I thought was fine. I mean, honestly. I think we both said Decadence, correct? Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I like Re:Zero's world it's a really cool fantasy world, but I think it's kind of like standard, and I really liked what Decadence did. It was kind of like that steampunk kind of feel to a fantasy world that I just felt was good. Like I don't know.
No, I agree 100%. Same boat.
Yeah. I mean like don't get me wrong, Re:Zero's good, but I just think Decadence should have got some. Because also, I think that's like one of the only times Decadence is on here, right?
Yeah, it's that, and I think Sci-Fi.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. So I think Decadence should have won it. But what do I know?
Yeah, what do we know? We don't make anime.
Yeah,
we have Best Girl next.
Ooh,
Best Girl.
What y'all been waiting for?
And honestly, it's a trash pick.
What do you mean trash pick, dude?
Trash.
Get out of here.
Pick, and I will die on this.
Get out of here. Why? Because you hate love? Is that what's wrong with you, or what?
Nah, I just think I've reading this. Bear in mind, for me, for this, maybe this is a little biased in my pick, but it's based off of the manga.
Okay.
Her in the manga, where she's at, is just we're not even.
Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about it.
No, but it's high level shit. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. The voice actor, for her, does it really good. I think that's what probably sells it most for me. Like, I like the character itself. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she's, and like, I mean, to be honest, I would have liked to see Abigail Jones from Great Pretender. As much as I love Love Is War.
Abigail was cool too. I liked Abigail.
Yeah, I would have liked Abigail Jones, but like, I think I could see why Kaguya got picked. So she's good, and I think for me, I think that's probably one of the flaws from reading the manga. You got to hear that voice act. The voice acting sells it.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch it, it's like, because Best Girl is waifu material. That's waifu material right there.
Okay.
Sorry. I apologize, Chris.
All right, next one following that. Oh, actually, Kaguya-sama won Best Comedy, which I thought was one of the weaker categories that we had.
What was the other ones in Best Comedy?
Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, My Next Life is a Villainess, and Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, Kakushi Goto, and then Misfit of Demon Academy, which is funny because I've watched Misfit of Demon Academy, and it's not that fun. Like, it's lighthearted. It's not comedy though.
I agree. I did not think it was funny.
I watched the whole series though. That shit.
Yeah. Is it good?
Misfit of Demon Academy is low key high tier.
In
my opinion, it's trash. But whatever.
It's trash. It could be high tier, but like, that's the thing. Like, let's just be real. Like, if you want a harem anime, like, we just need to make it a category. Like, when you're scrolling through like Funimation, just make it a category. Like, I'm not talking fan service. I'm talking harem anime. Like, I want its own category, and just you put it there, and that's fine. But like, I feel like I get hyped up for way too many animes, and I'm like for example, I think we talked about Afarenta.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about one. I was like, this is good, and I was like, oh, there's just a harem anime. Shield Hero. Okay, this is good. Oh, another harem anime. And I was like, ugh. So, but going back to the Best Comedy, like I said, Love Is War. I knew that was going to win. That shit's funny. What I was saying, they should have I agree with you. I think the Misfits of the Demon King Academy, I don't think it's that funny. They should have took that out, and they should have put Dorohedoro. Because Dorohedoro, and we talked about this before, me and Daniel both hate 3D animes. When they go into doing the 3D stuff, I think it's weird. And it took me a little bit to get into Dorohedoro, but that shit is funny.
Dorohedoro feels like a fucked up version of like It's Always Sunny.
It kind of, maybe that's why I like it. I love
It's Always Sunny, but like people get murdered, and we're just like, they died.
Kind of, maybe that's it, dude. It definitely appeals to kind of like that darker kind of funny.
It's very dark humor.
Yeah, it's very dark humor. I think it's so funny though. If that was on this category, I would have picked it. I think it would have won. But I think Love Is War, it's funny, and it's a cute funny. You know what I mean? It's very cute, and there's funny, and it's like all the characters.
It's frustratingly funny.
Yeah, and all the characters are likable.
Yeah.
Like you can hate, like, they all have their pet peeves, but they're all likable. You could you want to be friends with all of them.
Yeah. No.
And so that's an easy pick. Love Is War, the Best Comedy, makes sense.
Okay, so piggybacking off of that, we're gonna go into Best Boy.
Beast Boy.
Beast Boy, but guys, we're bringing Teen Titans back. The Best Boy, which is the winner, is Haikyuu to the top. I think, and this is gonna maybe be a hot take, I think Haikyuu is the best sports anime to come out in at least the last 20 years. Easy.
I disagree.
With what other if you tell me something dumb as hell, what is it?
Stars align.
Oh, God damn
it is the great Daniel, shut up, dude. Okay, you know that Stars Align is the greatest anime that, and it's the greatest tragedy since the fall of Rome. I tell you this every fucking time we talk about it. It had so much potential. It was so amazing. It hit all the topics. It was great.
No, just because you talk about it doesn't mean you can talk it into existence, dude.
What are you talking about? It was so good, dude.
Haikyuu to the top. Okay, the point being, before we decide to kill each other, is that out of Best Boy, it was Keimin from Dorohedoro, Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kun Aguero Agnes from Tower of God, and Legoshi from Beastars, Anos Voldigo from Misfit Demon Academy. I will actually because I finished Misfit Demon Academy, I will actually say I think if we were to rank them, I would put Anos at 2. Straight.
Really?
Yeah, because what people...
the fuck?
Because the whole anime is about him ending racism. Like, straight up. That's his whole bit. Is that, like... So basically, the world of the demons and humans have been at war, and then he realizes. So the hero character, has like. So you have what's called what do they call it? A spark. We'll say a spark. It's like Transformers. Mm-hmm. They call it a source. You're like heart, basically, and if that breaks, you die. But so the hero has 7 of them, and basically, if only one breaks, he'll die, but he can come back to life. And so he constantly is fighting and stuff like that. And then the demon lord Anos realizes that we're getting nowhere, so he's like, I'll die, and then we'll create this like wall that will separate, and then
demons from humans.
Yeah, and then over time you guys will break down the walls and then become like united in this case. And so he ends up, when he reincarnates, he ends up being reincarnated to a human mother and a demon father. So he's a half-breed in their eyes, and so it's basically like all the demons talk down to him, and he's like, no, like, you guys need to put some respect on my name. But then they go to the humans, and the humans still hold on to their hate, and so he's like, you guys are my enemies, because basically the humans are like doing propaganda, and they're like, oh, the demons are just wanting to kill all of us and stuff, butcher your babies and things like that. And he's like, no, he's like, we just want peace. And so basically you come to find out that one of his best friends in the show is the reincarnation of the hero. And
of course.
And so basically they have 2 extremes. So the hero actually takes the dark route and goes like the Sasuke route, and he's like, well, in order for there to be peace, we have to destroy all the humans, because he has a mentor who's like, no, we need to kill the demons. So he rebels against it, and they actually like double cross him and kill him. And so because he got double crossed by his own people, he's like, no, we don't deserve it. We're not worthy of like living in harmony with another race. And so basically their big final thing is them fighting and like teaching the world that like we need to come together regardless of race. So like it was way more in depth than I thought. And what made it awesome was that people would be like hella racist, and then because he's super OP, he comes in and like not just like corrects it, but he like makes them suffer for their racism. It's like a power fantasy if you've ever wanted to like get back at somebody for like how they fucked you over in the system. Because like they kill one of the teacher turns out to be like a racist demon who like is like, oh, you're a half-breed, you're no better than me, and tries to kill one of.
This is why we succeeded from the north.
Pretty much. And so he has like a fan group who joined his like team, and so they they're doing this like sword tournament, and basically they're trying to get him to lose. And so the
demon Anos,
yeah, they want Anos to lose.
Okay.
Because he's Jesus, right? He's demon Jesus. And so he is so he gives his sword, because his dad forges him a sword, and that's what he uses in the fight, because he's like, my dad made this for me. And then his mom's
cute.
Yeah, right. And then his mom's like, and his mom's like super cute and sweet. And so the girls and his fan club kind of go with him. And then the demon teacher, their teacher shows up, and she like basically kills the girls and then tries to kill his mom. And then he rolls up, brings the girls back to life because he knows like revival magic. Takes her. And so the way he tortures people is he kills them and then he brings them back to life. So he like
Okay.
snaps his
Kind of
fingers.
like Overhaul.
Yeah, basically. So he snaps his fingers. They literally become like blood on the ground, and then he snaps his fingers again, and they literally like, come out of a portal, and like he's like, "All right, I brought you back to life." And so for her, he actually like kills her, and then when he revives, he revives her as a half demon, half human. So she like becomes.
You can do that? What the fuck?
Yeah, so she becomes the thing that she hated, and he's like, "That is your punishment. You have to live the rest of your life as this thing that you hated, and to learn to like love, like through
Love
like,
yourself.
yeah,
Loving. Yeah. Okay. What you hate.
And I was like, this show is so much more deep than I thought it was gonna be.
You know what? When you tell me it, it does sound a lot better than I think. Because when I was watching it, I was like, this show's trash. What am I watching?
No. Yeah.
Maybe I just haven't.
Episode like 6 or 7, I'm like, dude, I want this guy to run the world. He's got some good thoughts.
Every person should have a harem.
Yep.
Where's our fan club?
We're in happily committed relationships, man. I can't have a fan club.
In our anime, dude.
Oh.
Anime, all rules are off. Okay.
You can have that conversation with your girl. I'm not gonna get into trouble, man.
Don't you hate it when your real life turns into an anime? Someone started.
So I'm fine with the Haikyuu pick. We'll fight about that later.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. Out of the choices, Haikyuu, definitely. I agree. I think that was my choice too.
Have you seen Haikyuu?
Yes, I love Haikyuu. It's good. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about what is the best sport, not boy, but best sports anime, like how you kind of brought up, like you said Haikyuu's the best sports anime, I disagree with you.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree, and we'll move on. I think we did the best director, which is Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken.
We did, so we're good with that.
Best score. Kevin Pink and Tower God.
We didn't say much about best score. I mean, all of them were good. Tower God was good. They all really deserve. Even Beastars had really nice music. So I think they're all great choices.
Now we're moving on to my pick, the one I hate the most, which is best opening sequence. The winner was Beastars, Wild Side by Ali, which
fucking garbage.
Graphically, it's
fucking garbage.
I just think
fucking Sopus.
And this is completely biased. Kai Kai Kitan by Eve for Jujutsu Kaisen is the new slap. 100%. That's my pick. You had Kaguya-sama, right?
Daddy do. All the fucking way, dude. I'm so pissed that it didn't win. It is so good. Just so good. It gets me every time. Season 2, every time I listened to it, I was hyped. I was ready. It was upbeat. It's fun. Like, you're in for a good time. I had a feeling Beastars was going to win. And to be honest, I talk a lot of shit, but Beastars actually has pretty good opening. Like, it's good. But I think Daddy Do it's a lot more fun. And I enjoy it more. I think the music's better. And I just like how, like, it's I love
Jujutsu Kaisens or
I think.
Oh, here we go.
Honestly, I think Jujutsu Kaisen probably has better than Love is War.
Okay.
The music's nice, honestly though, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen's outro is better than its intro.
You think the outro for Jujutsu Kaisen is better than its intro?
If I'm remembering correctly, maybe you kind of shot up on me. Maybe I'm thinking wrong.
Oh.
Which one's them on the train?
The beginning.
Okay, never mind. I lied. Intro's way better than the outro. Okay. Okay.
I've actually listened to the song of the ending though, and that shit's really fucking good too.
Yeah, the outros, they're both good. I agree with Jujutsu Kaisen, that's a strong one. Okay. I'm biased on Love is War. But I think honestly, Beastars, it's not a bad choice. It could have been worse.
I did like the stop motion. That was cool.
Yeah. It was a good decision, and I think it was good. For as much shit as I give Beastars, it was a good intro. So, I can admit that.
What do we have next? We have best ending sequence, which is Jujutsu Kaisen, which is also won. Best Antagonist and Best Anime of the Year. So,
Alrighty.
Best ending sequence. Yeah, the ending sequence just is funky. It's dope. I've listened to it. I listened to it in my car on the way to football practice. It's
It's a good ending sequence. I actually like Night Runner for BNA. I like that a lot better.
You did have Night Runner.
Cause here's the thing. Like, I know there's not a lot going on, but it feels like a nice cool down. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's fair. I respect that.
Because I feel like that's what an ending sequence should do. It's like you just watched, a good episode, and I kind of think of it like, if I'm not going to get another episode this week, this is all I get. Like, how am I going to feel with that ending? It kind of cools me down. And I think I like I said, I like Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's solid anime in general. So I think I'm glad it won. I think it's good. But I think BNA is better in my opinion.
Okay. And then Jujutsu Kaisen also won Best Antagonist for Sukuna, which is the demon character that he ends up being possessed by. Well, sharing a body with, not possessed, but sharing a body.
This kind of, like, I get it, but this kind of threw me. I thought 10,000.
This one was a hype pick, I feel like.
Do you think? Yeah. Because I haven't watched a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen. From what we've seen, has the main baddie been like, is he the shit?
Well, so he functions in the same way that like the Nine-Tailed Fox functions in Naruto. He's just kind of like an adversary, so to speak. The main villain in the arcs that they're showing right now for Jujutsu Kaisen is I forget his name, but so they're called curses, right? And curses come from negative thoughts of people. He is the living embodiment of the world's depression, anger, and like hate.
Oh, okay.
He is like the living embodiment of like evil.
Gotcha.
So they didn't have him in there. I thought it was interesting. Out of the list though, I think we had Overhaul. I would have Overhaul or Echidna, because I know
I feel like Echidna's a good choice, but she gets too, like, by the end of it, she's just like a fangirl.
Yeah, but she did like kick off a lot of the shit that caused.
She did, and like she's great, but like I feel like at the end of it ruins it. Like, if we're looking at that villain through the whole, Overhaul's great till the end. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah. And
even afterwards, it like and now, like, especially what happens to him after his encounter with the League of Villains, he's at like this low. Like, I'm really interested to see what because I don't know. Like, I know you've read a little bit of the manga. But I haven't. I've only watched the anime. I think we're not done with Overhaul yet. I have a feeling that he might come back somehow.
It'll be interesting to see how they bring him back. Yeah. I don't know yet.
Yeah. I think he's gonna come back somehow, and I think it's gonna be very interesting.
Okay.
But I think I don't know. Again, might be my bias. I think Overhaul should have won. I see why though. Echidna. I think that's also a strong choice. Or Rachel from Tower of God. I think that was also strong as well. N from Dorohedoro. That was kind of stupid. But like, here's the thing: I don't take Dorohedoro seriously.
That's fair.
It's just like it's it's a late night anime for me. You know, you kind of just put it on. It's on.
Think of like an Adult Swim, like it's 11 o'clock on a Saturday. Your parents are asleep. You're like, yo, what's this thing called anime? And then you just turn it on and Dorohedoro's on.
Honestly, that's exactly where that describes it perfectly.
Feels like it should have. Yeah, it feels like it should have been on Adult Swim. It feels it was like a weird and Adult Swim thing. Yeah,
Adult Swim, and like when you're watching it, it feels like you shouldn't be allowed to watch this as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 10,000% agree.
Okay, so now that we have those feelings out of the way, we have Best Drama.
Best Drama. Okay.
Fruit Basket Season 2.
Listen, I know everybody I've watched a little bit. I've watched a lot of Fruit Baskets.
Fruit Baskets is a nostalgia thing, I think, unbiasedly. My pick was Sing Yesterday, but Sing Yesterday is one, I just think the name's fucking dope. seeing
Yeah.
yesterday for me. But two, it's like I like. I hate it. I hate love triangles, but I love love triangles,
Of course
especially
you do, Daniel.
especially when they end up with the person that you kind of like are hoping they end up with.
There needs to be a little competition. It's just the sports side of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I know you're sad because Somalia and the Force Spirit wasn't.
Dude, it should have won. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, man. Everybody, like, I know you haven't watched it, but I'm telling you, man, just watch it. Just try the first episode.
Talked about it so much, I feel like I've watched it. That's why I haven't watched it.
Because it's one of like I watched it on a limb. Like, I just saw it. Like, I was trying to watch it at like season 5 of JoJo's. And then it just popped up, and I was like,
it's like what's an anime that I always talk about that you really like? I feel like I've seen it because I talk about it so much. Because I'm like, that's what it's like for you. That and Promise Neverland are my two.
I get you.
Yeah.
But to be honest, God, Promise Neverland. Oh Jesus, it's getting.
So that was
but that's another talk for later. But no, yeah, like, I don't know. I think if you guys haven't seen Somalia and the Force Spirit. Or Guardian. I say Guardian. I know it's Spirit, but go watch it. It's good. It'll make you feel good. That's my choice, but I get why Fruit Baskets wins.
Yeah.
It's more. I feel like a lot of people really like Fruit Baskets.
Yeah, Fruit Baskets was like in that realm of what was your first anime? A lot of people were like Sailor Moon, Fruit Basket. It was like in that early late 90s, early 2000s group that just kind of came out.
Got you. That makes sense. So. I think it's good. I don't have too many quarrels. I just think I honestly feel like Somalia and the Forest Spirit, I don't hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I think it needs a little more appreciation.
Love.
Yeah, it needs a little more love. It's because it's beautiful. That opening sequence is so good. Honestly, why the fuck is Somalia and the Forest Spirit not on Best Opening? If you don't watch the show, just after this episode, go watch the opening.
Yeah.
And give me your honest opinion.
Okay.
And if your honest opinion is it's trash, you have no soul.
Okay, I'll be sure. Now I know the pressure's on. So
yeah, so that's a fact. And any listeners out there, you do the same. You let us know. Send me an email. Tell me your honest opinion. What you think about if you don't watch the show, just watch that opening and tell me that you do not feel something in your soul. And if you don't,
it is doubling down.
If you don't, you need God. I don't like.
Oh boy,
you need something.
Okay. Good.
I'm just kidding. We all feel different things. Is it just anime of the year?
Protagonist is My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom.
I didn't watch a lot of it, but like I get it.
I respect it. Yeah. Anos was like, I feel like Anos was like the big pick, right? He was like the OP protagonist pick. Yuji was typical shonen. I gotta do it for people. Natsume, I thought probably from Decadence would have been a different pick, and then Shoyu Hinata is your classic shonen.
He's pretty much
he's Naruto.
He is Naruto. Yeah, he's Naruto, Boruto, Luffy, Asta.
Yeah,
all in one. Yeah, it's like the same. It's like you pick one, all same shit. Which I agree. Like I like Shoyo. I think haiku in general is good. I think it's great. But I do agree that it wasn't. Honestly, this is probably. I wish there was better choices in this category. I feel like for me, this is probably one of my weaker ones. Like not to give shit to My Next Life as a Villainess, because I did watch a couple episodes of it and it is good. I just I don't know.
I feel it.
None of them really struck me as like I'm 100, because usually when I'm watching anime, it's either I feel like I'm either 100% in it or I'm out. Like there's no middle ground. So none of these really kind of were like I'm 100% in it. Maybe Decadence. Probably Decadence.
Okay. And then lastly, I know we did talk about Anime of the Year, but Anime of the Year was Jujutsu Kaisen beating beating Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, Dorohedoro, Great Pretender, Appare Ranman, and Beastars. I'm gonna come out and say I think that Jujutsu Kaisen is part of the next wave of great shonen anime.
I think it's gonna be the next Naruto.
Yeah, definitely the next Naruto.
Yeah, it's gonna be the next Naruto. I mean,
If
the
not-
main the white hair guy already looked. Yeah, not a clone, but I think like I'm not saying like it's like a ninja show, but I'm just saying I feel like it's gonna be like My Hero, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I feel like
Black Clover will never die. It will
Bro,
survive.
have you found out the secret?
No, they're not gonna. Have you found it? Do you know anything or?
No, I've actually started not rewatching it, but I continued off. So, if you guys haven't watched it, I'm gonna just go into a little bit. So they just killed the first demon, and now
The devil?
the devil. I'm sorry,
Dude,
not demon. Devil.
How dope was that shit? That shit was.
It was pretty good. It was pretty. Go ahead.
I don't know. I haven't been that hyped when the intro hits since All Might did United States of Smash for
that was so good
against All For One.
That was so good. That was good. Okay, while rewatching, I'm like, yeah, this is fire. But honestly, I'm kind of glad I waited because this is definitely one of those animes I need to binge.
Yeah,
when I watch it. So I just got to the point. They just finished up that fight, but Asta is now being charged as a devil. So now he has to prove that there are other devils out there to go. I guess like prove that he's like not a bad guy, even though we all know he's not a bad guy. But we just need a reason for him to go do shit.
I think it's a really good segue though.
Yeah.
Like usually like with shonen animes, right? We got to figure out what the next like thing for them to pursue is. And I think this is a really good like transition into that.
It's better than most. I don't think like I think it's kind of like predictable, I guess.
That's fair.
But I think it could have been the transition could have been a lot worse. So I think it flows real well. You know, if we're talking about going from A to B, it makes sense. I like it.
Okay.
But I don't know, dude. Like, do we know how many episodes are we from the last?
Fuck, it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6?
End of March.
End of March. Does anybody have like what are the theories out there?
I haven't looked because I'm that scared.
You don't want to get spoiled?
No, I mean Bleach ended. God, like they have an entire arc to finish, and Bleach ended, and now it's just coming back after like 10 years, 10, 15 years.
You know what? I still stand by my thing. I think that the top 3 is going to be My Hero, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think Black Clover is going to become the next One Piece.
I respect that opinion, and that makes me like it a lot more now.
Yeah, because I don't see them, at least where I'm at, like I could see how they could wrap it up, but from what you've told me, I don't see them just stopping.
Yeah, so where they're at right now, so that's what the big controversy was, which is that so they're in the middle, basically Noelle, Yami, and Asta. What you come to find out is that there are 3. It's the Heart Kingdom, I think. There's
the Heart, and then they're all like based on like this.
So
there's the Diamonds that are the bad guys. The Hearts, they kind of stay out of everything. And then the Spades, they're like Russia.
Yeah. So one of the groups, I'm trying to remember which one it was because I know, but basically they have 3 people that have demons.
I think it's the Spades.
Yeah. So basically, where they're at right now, they're all 3 of them are in the middle of a fight.
Gotcha.
With it, and from what they make it sound like is that they're like losing the fights, and so I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna lose the fights. It's gonna end, and then they're gonna do like a whole when Naruto is like, I gotta go train to go find and get Sasuke back. I think that's how they're gonna transition into it.
It's kind of like in One Piece where it's like everyone gets separated, time skip.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do.
That makes sense. I don't see them stopping. Because, here's my
on right now. It's like to stop it right here would be crazy.
So manga wise, is the manga done?
They're caught up with the manga.
They're caught up.
The
Okay.
manga right now is in the middle of the fight.
Now my question is, how is the okay? Does the manga look like? Is this like Train Gonna Pump, or does it look like we're about to hit destination?
I mean, the big issue is so there's several things that they talk about. So there are going to be a little bit of spoilers if you don't mind me talking about them.
No, that's fine. For anybody who wants to not hear this for Black Clover, we'll put a time skip when we come back.
So basically, you find out that they find out that there's multiple devils,
like half devils, or because is also a whole devil or a half devil?
So who basically share a body with a devil.
Got you. Kind of like how the leader of the Golden Dawn shared the soul.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So you come to find out. So one of the big things, and I don't know if you remember this, is that you find out that the reason why the siblings, or at least for Noel, at least the oldest one was named Gray, Silva, yeah, the captain of the Silver Eagles. Why he was such an asshole was because it was to hide the truth that their mom died from the curse of a devil.
Oh, is she a devil?
So the mom, basically one of the things that devils can do, and this is what happened to Asta with his arms. Do you remember when he like fought the beast guy and he cursed him?
Yeah.
And he couldn't use his arms anymore.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So basically, devils can give curses, and these curses can last for X amount of years, and then it kills you basically. And so you find out that Noel's mother was cursed by a devil, and that the devils are like the person who has it is still alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
So one of the devils, the devil that Noel fights, is the one that cursed her mother.
Cursed his mom, of course. So now she's like, now I gotta kill you because you killed my mom. Got you.
Yeah, and so in the newest episode, they're pretty much losing, and I think in the manga they're a little bit ahead, and they reveal that they align with the Heart Kingdom. There's a whole thing with the Heart Kingdom where you find out that their queen was actually cursed as well.
Got you. So the hearts are bad.
The hearts are good.
They're good.
The hearts have what's called wild magic. So you know how they're able to do that mana zone thing? Yeah. Basically, they live in a land that's pure mana, so their powers are much stronger. So they send out like, hey, let's talk. They go talk to them about it, and then the queen reveals that she got cursed. So how
much time do you have from curse to death?
I don't know, but basically they're like, yeah, it grows. It's almost like a curse mark, basically, in Naruto, right? It grows. So
okay, but Asta was able to break his curse.
Yeah, right. How did they break it?
How did they break it?
But this is like high level. So this wasn't, even though he was cursed, this wasn't a devil's curse. A devil's curse is like high level shit.
Like that's bonding.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So basically they're trying to figure out, basically they aren't able to access magic, and so they're given a 6-month time gap, and they're like, in 6 months we're gonna join together, we're gonna invade their kingdom, we're gonna invade the devil's kingdom. It's like the Spade Kingdom, I think.
Oh, so you think there's just gonna be like a 6-month time gap kind of thing?
So they did that 6-month time gap, and then during the battle, Noel loses, and they actually kidnap the queen. The devils do. So I think they're gonna do a time skip again, to have them power up again.
But like this is like years we're talking.
Probably at least a couple of years, I would say.
And you think like all the Black Bulls are gonna get separated,
or they're all gonna come together and just become busted.
I don't think that, like, I feel like it's gonna be like, from at least what you told me, maybe I'll have to definitely watch and make my own judgments. Like I get what you're saying. I think a time jump makes sense, and especially like from what you've just told me, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, and it would be good.
The only thing that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but because there's no way they can just end it.
Yeah,
because that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's just how are they gonna explain the time skip? Do you think, like, is there a different world?
Well, that's the thing, is I think with kidnapping the queen, that's going to cause some things that happen.
Gotcha.
I think because basically from what I've seen, Asta spent, Yami spent, and Noelle is spent, and they're the three probably strongest characters
Yeah.
of at least the one of the Black Bulls. I think Yami's probably, what was it? There's a guy named Gigak on YouTube who was like, Yami is a shonen anime protagonist who finished his anime.
Yeah, honestly, honestly like they could do so much spin-offs with like just like they could do a spin-off of just Yami's story.
Yeah.
And it just that's like him like growing up. I think that'd be cool. You know what? Have they ever said the land where Yami comes from?
It's their version of Japan.
Yami's
Japanese.
They go to Japan?
They make.
Yeah, I know.
They make comments about Yami being a foreigner.
Do you think like maybe that's where they go, that time skip? Do you think they all go to like Japan and like they just all like bulk up?
They're gonna do their own version of like the One Piece, the Wano.
Yeah, because that would be pretty cool. Because honestly, that's where like Asta learns Ki, which is one of the greatest abilities, like one of the most busted abilities that you can have.
He's like in Dragon Ball. He's like, oh, I can set the power source.
Yeah, exactly. It's so busted. So I feel like that's maybe that's where they go, or they're gonna go to the demon world.
Yeah, I think a big part. Yeah, because there's a whole thing with Asta and his demon. They're gonna have a relationship at some point, I think.
Oh, kind of like Naruto and the Nine Tails. Yeah.
Because remember when they're killing the devil that caused all the elves to hate, right? When he confronts Asta's demon and is like, "Who are you?" And he's like, you know.
Yeah, I saw that, and he's like, "You don't need to worry about me, bitch. You're dead." Yep. That shit was funny because he literally comes like you don't see him the whole fight, and then the devil's about to die, and he's just like, "Who are you?" He's just like,
"It doesn't matter, motherfucker."
Yeah. Bitch. That was funny. I know. Which that was cool too because I was like, okay, this shit's gonna get cool. This is gonna get real. I hope that Asta can go full like demon.
Yeah, basically, yeah. What they show in the fight with his guy is that the demon starts to like take over more and more. Like he becomes.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So
that's cool because yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The potential there is super awesome, and I think the reason why I'm so attached to Black Clover and why it hurts to talk about this is because I watched it. I remember people were like, Black Clover's coming out. I'm like, okay. And then, everyone's like, the first 10 episodes are garbage or whatever. And I'm like, no, this has to get better. It has to be good. Mm-hmm. And then finally, like, it's on this hype train. And like, it's like being like what I imagine the Cleveland Browns would be like when they win the Super Bowl. They're going to be like, you weren't with us. You weren't here.
You weren't there from the beginning. Yeah.
So
I get you. I think because like you said, they've been like the animation studio through COVID has been pushing. Like I don't think it's even COVID. Did COVID stop it?
For like a hot second, yeah, but other than that.
But compared to all the other animation studios and everything, and like the writer, the writer for the manga, like they're just pushing. So I think everyone just needs a break. Like honestly, we'll probably get like I think you're right. It's gonna be a big time skip, but I would expect at least a year break.
Yeah.
And then
they're gonna let the manga get ahead.
Yeah. So by 2020, like we're 2021, I would say end of 2022. 2022 Christmas.
Like October anime. They're gonna be like, hey, Black Clover's back, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because they came out in October, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And I want to say right here. I was talking to Chris about it, and he's like, "This shit's whack," and I'm like, "It's gonna be good. I promise you."
Wait, is he only in the first 10?
No, for Chris. I mean, I'm gonna say it. Chris doesn't listen to my recommendations. So there it is.
That's some beat. Oh, you okay?
I'll make it through.
Like, oh, geez, my lord. Here's the thing. Chris is his own person. That's what we will say. He is wild and free.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't need no man.
No, he doesn't need a man. But doesn't mean does it hurt that I recommend him this dope anime and that he doesn't fucking watch it. So
I agree. We'll have to bring that up on the show. Maybe we'll get I'll hit up the therapy gecko.
Yeah.
We'll set up a shout out to I know this is again we're going crazy off topic, but I got a TikTok and I love the therapy gecko. For anybody who's seen that,
that's the hill you're gonna die on for that one. That's
my cup of tea. I don't know why. I think it's just I love hearing the stories. It's a lot of weird. It's a lot of crazy stuff that it's just a good time. But anyways, Black Clover's great. We'll definitely have to when it ends. We'll definitely we'll probably spend a whole episode talking about it.
I need everyone else to get on it. That's what I need.
I'm catching up.
Attack on Titan's gonna be done in
What should I do first? Should I catch up Black Clover or Attack on Titan?
Black Clover first. Catch up Black Clover. Because at least me and you can have a conversation about it. Chris watches Attack on Titan. He's gonna be like, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet." And if he's listening to this, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. What's up?
I love how you're already starting beef with the pod mates.
Hey, I've always had these grievances. The only difference is that now they're gonna be out there.
Yeah, for the world to hear. But okay, I'll catch up on Black Clover. We can talk about that. We'll definitely, when that last episode drops, we will definitely have a lot to say about that. I'll catch up on Attack on Titan. That way we can, once Chris gets caught up, we can all talk about it.
I think that's what the next podcast should be, just a therapy session where we get him to listen to us.
Well, actually, for everyone who's listening out there, Chris is going to be, we did have to cancel this week our regular podcast style, but next week, Chris will be leading it. He's got some, just to give you kind of a little sneak peek on what we'll be talking about next week, gotcha games. We're going to be talking about that. And just
gambling and are they trash? And the answer is
exactly. Yes. Yeah. More no. We don't know yet. We haven't watched the episode. I haven't watched the episode.
I definitely think that gotcha games are.
Well, save that for the podcast. But so anyways, back on the topic. I know we went off a big tangent. Anime of the year, Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it makes sense. I think I think the only one that I would have been super shocked if they won was Dorohedoro. If that would have won,
yeah,
I would have been crazy. I would not have seen that. I think Appare Ranman, that one is very good. It is an adult wacky racers.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm here for it. But I do agree. I think Jujutsu Kaisen, that's a great good anime. Can't wait to see. I think it has the potential to be
part of the big three. I agree.
Part of the big three. I think it's a solid. I think it's good. Art style's good. It's giving me like it's hitting all the right notes. It's another one. Is season 1 all out yet or
not yet? I think it ends in about 4 or 5 weeks too.
Yeah. And I will admit, I haven't seen all of it, but what I'm waiting for, I'm a binger. Netflix has really spoiled me. So myself and my waifu Jessica, if we don't have to wait for the weekly drops, we'll just watch it all at once. So I think definitely with Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm going to finish it off once the whole season drops. That way I can kind of take notes and say what I want to say. But all in all, what do we think? Let's just wrap up Crunchyroll Awards. I'm going to give you in 3 words. I want you to, how'd you feel about this? All the nominations, all the picks. How'd you feel? 3 words.
It was alright. It was alright.
I like that.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It is what it is, and Yeah. I mean, obviously being in COVID and stuff like that makes it a lot more difficult. So, hopefully next year, things will be a little bit different. We'll be able to, a lot this winter anime session. So, maybe I'll go over that. I'll explain how the seasons work for those who don't know. But on the starting of the next podcast. But basically, so we're considered in the winter season. The Japanese see their seasons differently than we do. They follow the same timeline, but it's a little different. But I think that this past winter season is gonna have a lot of stuff that's gonna be up for things. So Attack on Titan is included in that. Jujutsu Kaisen again for maybe like fight scenes. What else do we have? We had Attack on Titan. We had Jujutsu Kaisen. Wonder Egg Priorities is one that everyone's talking about.
Is that good? I've seen it, but
it's like if you've ever seen Requiem for a Dream, the movie. It's kind of like this weird, like existential. It's like those early ones, like Serial Experiment Lane, Welcome to NHK. It has this weird, like what else? Paprika, the movie Paprika.
I've seen a lot of hype on Reddit. Like I see, like in the anime Reddits, like people are really hyping on those episodes.
Yeah. It brings up some interesting things about like being maturity. It's almost like a little bit Pan's Labyrinth too. I mean, this is the one where Redo of a Healer came out. I mean, we're not gonna. Yeah. That's a whole thing.
I think you told me about that one, but we won't get into it. Yeah, we don't need to get into all of that. I'm 90% sure.
It makes Goblin Slayer look like a day at the park.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We've had Dr. Stone season 2 come out.
That is good. Anybody who hasn't seen Dr. Stone, catch up. Watch season 1.
Reincarnated as Slime season 2 is this season. Like there's just a lot of like
there's some heavy hitters. It's gonna be a good winner.
Yeah. So then we'll be going in the spring, and then maybe we'll do like a preview of that at some point.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So this is going to be a new part of the segment, Gunner, but I thought I'd introduce this, where I introduce at the end of every episode one new manga everybody should check out and one new anime that should be checked out. To recommend.
I like that.
To the listeners at home. Yeah.
Pick of the week. All right, what's your pick this week?
So right now I am currently watching I was watching Kuroko's Basketball, which is fine. But the newest anime that come out right now, it's on Netflix, called High Rise Invasion. It is about a girl who gets transported to basically a series of interlinking high rises, and there are these people in like smiley face masks that chase people who get transported to this world around, and try to kill them. Basically, it's like a survival anime.
It kind of reminds me of what was that one that came out last season or maybe 2 seasons ago, like called Death Angel or something like that?
Oh, Angels of Death, a little bit like
Angel of Death. A little bit. That's what it reminds me of. But Daniel's been talking a lot about this, and you've like from what you told me, I definitely need to check it out. It sounds like the hype is real around this one.
If you've ever watched a horror movie or a survival movie and you go, why are they doing that? Why don't they do the easier? She's a really good character in the sense that like something will happen and she's like, I have to figure this out. I can't. You know, she's like, I need to. She's the kind of person, right? When you like, let's say like in like survival, no one like the people who don't like reload or the ones who don't like restock, and then like we're out of food. She's like, no, I gotta have my stuff. I gotta make sure I have everything where it needs to be. So she's like a planner, and that makes it like interesting.
It's not like, you know, like in like Michael Myers where they're like,
yeah, when they make obviously they should go right, yeah,
or they're just like, I think we should split up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's like, oh no, we need a. She's like strategy, right? She's like, I have a gun, they have a knife. Okay, I have advantage up to this point, and then I gotta do some other things. I'm like, okay, like she's thinking about stuff.
Understand. Well, that's a definitely a good rec. I like that. Anybody out there? What's it called again?
High Rise Invasion.
High Rise Invasion. That's on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Y'all, everybody's got a Netflix account. Go check that out.
So that is my Netflix. That is my anime recommendation. My manga recommendation right now is I currently have found a nice little number which is called Sayonara Football. It is a soccer anime about girls soccer, and it's written by the person who wrote Your Lie in April.
So that's good.
So I'm expecting to cry at some point.
Yeah. But how far are you in it?
There's three translated novels out, or mangas that are out right now, but it's a really cool look at women's sports. And as someone who had a younger sister who played soccer, just to look into that world and how like women's sports are really looked down upon. So in order to have it stand out, you really need to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the trials and tribulations of like, oh, like a girl who she's like, I can play with the boys, and they're like, no, you can't. You're a girl, you're gonna get beat up, and she's like, well, I'm gonna go try, and then she does get beat up, but she's like, you can like, I'm gonna walk off this court with field with some fucking respect.
Yeah, and I think that's always good. It's nice to see challenging gender norms and stuff like that. Like not to rant like too crazy about it, but I think it is important. I think it's something that, and especially, I also like. I think that sounds amazing because I feel like in the world of manga and anime, it's a very much a guy's place. So it's very nice to have some female representation, and I think that's good.
There's no fan service, right? Because usually when the girl's an action character, right, at some point some fan service shows up. A
titty's gonna pop.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. Yeah.
So it's just they're like high school kids. Yeah. They're like, it's just about being like, I just want to play soccer and I just want to go to school.
Yeah,
I want to be the best. I'm like,
that's good.
That's what you need. And I grabbed it on a whim, and then on the back it says like written by person who wrote, and I'm like, oh, okay.
What's it called one more time?
Sayonara. So Sayonara Football.
Sayonara Football. All right, everybody, you heard it here. That is the manga of the week. Check it out. Let us know. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Do you think I'm wrong?
Or do you think we're so right? There it is. That's very good. Well, thank you for those picks. I like that. And end of every episode, let's do a pick. We'll definitely keep that up, and maybe we'll do some rotations. That way, everyone can kind of every Gaifu can kind of give their pick. I like that a lot. Very good. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening. This was our recap on 2021 Crunchyroll Awards. Thank
you guys for joining us. Hopefully either you follow in the same vein of opinions as we do. If you sat through the whole Harry Potter and Star Wars mess at the beginning, let us know how you feel about the similarities and the differences between the two.
And we are going to be talking about that again because I think it's a good issue. Give us your opinion. We are on at gaifusforlaifus@gmail.com. That's the best way to hit us up. Send us an email. We'd love to hear comments. You can listen to us on however you're listening to us now. We do have an Instagram, Gaifus for Laifus, and we have a TikTok. We're working on a Twitter. So feel free to message us and give us your input. We'd love to hear it.
Yep. Thank you guys for joining us, and everybody have a good rest of their night. It is Wednesday, so happy hump day.
Happy hump day.
Here, everybody.
Yep. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and you have a good one.
Yep.
And stay weird.